Section 1. The Fall and its Consequences. A look at Genesis 3:14 to 19. Genesis 3:14 to 19 is a sobering passage. It describes the immediate aftermath of Adam and Eve's disobedience in the Garden of Eden. God confronts the serpent, the woman, and the man, pronouncing curses on each of them. This passage is crucial for understanding the origin of sin and its devastating impact on humanity and the world we live in. God's response to sin reveals his holiness and justice. He cannot allow sin to go unpunished. The curses pronounced are not merely punishments, but also serve as a stark reminder of the consequences of rejecting God's good rule. They highlight the brokenness that sin brings into our lives and the world around us. Despite the bleakness of the curses, there's a glimmer of hope embedded within them. God doesn't abandon humanity or the world to the consequences of their sin. This passage sets the stage for God's plan of redemption, which will unfold throughout the rest of the Bible. Understanding Genesis 3:14 to 19 is essential for grasping the message of the Bible. It underscores the seriousness of sin, the need for redemption, and the hope we have in Christ. In the following sections, we will delve deeper into the specific curses and their implications for us today. Section 2. Unpacking the curse, pain, toil, and discord. God's curse affects the serpent, the woman, and the man. Each curse reveals the nature of their sin and its consequences. To the serpent, God says, "Cursed are you above all livestock and all wild animals. You will crawl on your belly and you will eat dust all the days of your life." Genesis 3:14. The woman's curse involves increased pain in childbirth. "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor you will give birth to children." And Genesis 3:16. This speaks to the disruption of the natural order due to sin. Childbirth, originally designed to be a joyous occasion, now carries an element of pain and struggle. The man's curse centers on his relationship with the ground. "Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field." Genesis 3:17 to 18. Work, originally intended to be a fulfilling endeavor, becomes fraught with difficulty and frustration. These curses reveal the interconnectedness of creation. The serpent's curse impacts the natural world, the woman's curse affects her most intimate relationships, and the man's curse disrupts his role as a cultivator of the earth. Section 3. A world scarred by sin. The impact on humanity and nature. The curses in Genesis 3:14 to 19 have had a profound impact on both humanity and the natural world. We see the consequences of sin all around us. For humans, the curse has brought about pain, suffering, and death. It has introduced toil and frustration into our work and relationships. The world itself reflects the brokenness of sin. Natural disasters, diseases, and the constant struggle for survival are all reminders of the fall. The curse also fractured the relationship between humanity and God. Before the fall, Adam and Eve enjoyed intimate fellowship with God. After the fall, sin created a barrier between them and their Creator. This separation from God is at the root of all human suffering. Despite the pervasiveness of sin's effects, we must remember that God is still sovereign. He uses even the consequences of sin to accomplish his purposes. He is working to redeem and restore his creation. The curse is not the end of the story. God's plan of redemption offers hope and healing for both humanity and the world. Section 4. Echoes of the curse, examples in our lives and world. We don't need to look far to see the echoes of Genesis chapter 3, verses 14 to 19 in our lives and world today. Consider the pain of childbirth. While medical advancements have eased some of the physical burden, childbirth remains a challenging and potentially dangerous experience. The toil and frustration in our work are also evident. We face difficult co-workers, demanding bosses, and the constant pressure to produce more. We experience burnout, dissatisfaction, and a sense of futility in our labor. Relationships are often strained and broken. We hurt each other with our words and actions. Misunderstandings, conflicts, and betrayals are commonplace. The natural world also bears the scars of sin. We witness the devastating effects of natural disasters like earthquakes, hurricanes, and floods. Diseases like cancer, HIV, AIDS, and malaria continue to plague humanity. These are all reminders of the brokenness of the world and the consequences of sin. Section 5. A seed of hope, finding redemption in the midst of the curse. Even in the midst of the curse, Genesis chapter 3 verses 14 to 19 offers a seed of hope. God doesn't leave humanity without hope for redemption. This hope is first hinted at in Genesis chapter 3 verse 15, where God says to the serpent, "And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." This verse is a prophecy pointing to Jesus Christ, the offspring of the woman, who will ultimately defeat Satan and the power of sin. Through Jesus' death and resurrection, he breaks the curse of sin and death. He offers forgiveness, healing, and restoration to all who believe in him. The hope we find in Christ doesn't erase the consequences of sin in this life. We still experience pain, toil, and brokenness, but we can face these challenges with a confident hope, knowing that they are not the end of the story. In Christ we have the promise of a new heaven and a new earth, where sin and its consequences will be no more. Until then, we live in the tension of the already and the not yet. We experience the reality of the curse, but we also cling to the hope of redemption found in Jesus Christ.